Good afternoon, dear viewers at home. Welcome to this afternoon's edition of In the Newsroom on OSBC television. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. This afternoon we have three very important topics to discuss, and our gentlemen of the press are already seated here so that the program will get underway and they will begin to tell you all they have in store for you, especially discussing and dissecting the topics of discussion this afternoon. We have three big topics, as I said. Why Nigerians need accurate census in 2023, quoting President Muhammadu Buhari. First subsidy scam, reps probe over 200 account domiciled with CBN. We will shock election riggers, Abia youth threatens. My guests who are already seated here, I have a very important guest in the studio. I call him a guest because he's fast becoming an hard emeritus. Alhaji Muhyiddin Adeleke. Muhyiddin, you're welcome to the program.
Muhyiddin Adeleke. Well, I'm happy.
I want to add any prefix.
Yeah.
Because the moment you
let's
begin
make
to
it
ask,
official.
Many times, only pilgrimage.
I'll call him an Hajj emeritus. So he's an Alhaji. But the moment we begin to prefix our names with something, then for example, if I call you Mr. Adeboye Popola, you know what it means.
Yes.
According to Saint
Lagno. Yes, we did that. You're
For the
welcome.
purpose,
I'm glad
for
to-
the purpose that he is many times pilgrims to their holy land. One in so year, two in so year.
Anytime we are to discuss Hajj, he has become an
He has
authority.
been, yes.
So,
I
you're
think he
welcome
had the
we did
picture of
that.
the
Yeah,
holy land.
I'm honored to be here, and I'm glad at the same time to be back in the studios. I've really missed in the newsroom.
Thank you very much.
It's a good place to be.
Yes.
Especially when I have the full complement of this man sitting by my right hand side, and that's Adeboye Popola. So I say good afternoon to viewers at home.
Yes,
I'm happy to be
Adeboye Popola, you're
Yes.
welcome to the program.
We thank God for bringing us back in today.
Yes, we are not making it official. Yes, the first topic. Why Nigeria needs accurate census in 2023. The census is head count of people living in a particular area for the purpose of knowing who the number of people to cater for.
including house enumeration.
In fact, it's including number of houses. And the houses, let's call it households, and the people living therein are to be counted. Meaning that the houses will be counted, people there too will be counted. And that is to enable government to plan ahead for its people. We have had one in 2006. That was the last time we had one. And now we want to have another one. Nigerian census are always disputed. They are always controversial. People will say, we have not had an accurate census. Why are all these controversies, why are they coming up with it?
It's borders on integrity, it borders on our virtues, because we have practically lost the value system, the values that we all cherish. Let me just inform you that if we had been honest, if we had maintained our integrity, if really we had wanted to embark on meaningful plans for the development of our society and for the improvement of the would I say, the quality of life of the citizenry, there wouldn't have been any need for us to come out with disputed figures. In the first instance, the reason we have disputed figures at the end of every census exercise, it's because we are not scientific. Yes, we did not do the needful in the past. Hope we are going to do the needful. And the fact that we don't really know the essence, we have not been able to understood the essence of census. Why do we have census? It's to assist in planning for sustainable development. If what makes it impossible for us to know the number of people that live in Nigeria, it's quite unfortunate that we have quite a number of year in, year out. I mean, every now and then people go for registration as far as politics is concerned, to vote. We have one day. That's an avenue for us to know the number of people registered.
But that has to be an adult suffrage.
I know. There are still other things. National ID card.
Yeah.
Everybody is expected to be involved. As far as national ID card is concerned, we cannot get the figure there. We find it difficult getting the figure when we have to probably get the national, what we call it, passport. Census. We have not been relying on this socio-economic data in planning in the past. That's why we have, and the mere fact that we have politicized the whole exercise, it doesn't need to be politicized. If really we understand the need for census.
Okay.
So that is the problem.
Thank you, Meaning. In the course of the program, one of our guests strolled in, and I'm talking about Latif. Latif, you're welcome to the program in the
It's my pleasure being here. I'm sorry for coming a bit late behind schedule.
Yeah, Adeboye, Nigeria census has always been controversial, so they are always disputed. But come to think of it, why do we need census now that we have insecurity all over the country? Because the Southwest is no longer a safe place to stay to. Generally the South, the North has been victims, the Northerners have been victims of the bandits' attack.
So we're having the dose now.
So
our own dose.
We are having our own dose now. That is it. Now, why bringing in census now? Is the federal government not sensitive to all this?
You see, if there is a time that the country needs head counts, or let's say population census, I will say that it cannot be any other time than now.
Why?
The reason is that, you know, even in the course of war in any country, or immediately after the war in any country, responsible countries all over the world will have to know what the effect of that war as far as humanity is concerned. How has that war, how has it, impacted on the lives of the people? How has that war, maybe the extent that the war has ravaged the people, and the scourge of that war on human lives, on humanity. Let me put it that way. Now, if what we have in Nigeria today, one will ask, what is the what are the factors, that are responsible for all these agitations here and there. The agitations are born out of the fact that the country lacks proper planning as to the needs of the people and how the needs of the people will be met. We don't have, accurate statistics of the people in different age grade. Even our universities, our educational system, the fact that the country has not been able to ascertain the number of those that will be planned for in the educational sector, and what should be the center of that planning, if anything at all. The fact that we don't have all those things, is responsible for all these ASU strike, ASU disputes with the federal government. You will see that hardly you could see lecturers in the US and the UK going on strike, because prior to, let's say, 10 years to issues that will bring cause a strike, they will have foreseen it. Today, all those issues will not take them aback. They will not see
they will have been addressed.
They will have been addressed prior in advance. But in Nigeria, socio-economic problem, always take us aback.
And we have always been approaching it the way the fire brigade way.
Which has put us into all this maze. I'm coming. The issue of insecurity that you are talking about. What is responsible for the insecurity that we are facing? Nigeria is a country whose borders, are porous. If we had been so critical about our population, our borders would not have been left, open for all these criminals to come in. The president of Nigeria should not have embarked on a raid from Nigeria to Niger Republic. The Niger Republic governors and some others who are allied of the governor should not have come here for political campaign for whosoever. Have you seen people from London go to US to campaign? The fact that London, UK, is an extension of the US, whether we like it or not. People from
US is an extension of UK.
US is an extension. US is an extension of the.
I thought so as well.
You said
you are. That is you. You don't say.
You see, we are all students of history. We all knew how American nation, came into being years back. Yeah. So when last did Republican or Labour from UK, when last did they, go to America?
No, the Republican and
socialist and so on and so forth. When last did we see members of those political parties and the Republican, I think? So Democrats, and we have also Democrats in the US.
Yeah.
Abi, when last did Democrats in the UK go to
US
to US to campaign for them? It won't. That one is quite impossible. But it is because in Nigeria we don't know the significance. Like he said, we don't know the significance of having accurate number of people in the country. Now, as a father in a household, if you don't know the number of wives that you have, the number of children that you have, the number of dependents, how will you be able to
cater for them?
The way to cater for them. You see, and you are now saying that you are now having crisis. That one, the crisis of not knowing the number of people that you will provide for,
because of our time.
you see, will cause chaos
Oh, yeah.
without a family.
Latif, you see, Nigeria's population census, right from independence to this time, have been subjected to a lot of criticism for reasons, for a number of uncountable number of reasons. But now, because election was getting controversial, the government came up with new electoral act. Now, we want to do population census. Should there not be a legislation that will enhance
The conduct.
a freer conduct of the population census?
Let me start by saying it's a matter of priority. Election is more priority than any other thing to Nigerian leaders, even and followers as well. You will see, I don't know of a Nigerian that has a permanent national ID card as of today, unless we are talking about the one produced during the Obasanjo era. But when we are talking about the present one, you have the one that is not permanent that you this moment. But with this voters card, within 2-3 months, your voters card will be ready.
Yeah.
So that's about priority. That means what the government and the people give priority is what they are doing. Now, and let's go back to the basis. Nigeria, we have a particular problem that needs to be tackled if we should move forward. And that's the problem of insincerity. We are not sincere at all. Then there is this mutual suspicion. When you are in a country whereby nobody is trusting anybody, you are from the north, when you come to the south, people will be looking at you as if an enemy is here. You are from the south side, if you go to the northeast, people will be looking at you as if an alien has come here. And another thing about us is lack of patriotism. We don't normally do things because of the country. We do things because of the individual benefit. What we stand to gain, not what the nation stands to gain. It doesn't start with this government, honestly. And when Mr. President is talking about we need to have an accurate, the question is, do we have accurate a database of children born today? Even today alone, for instance, and the number of those who die today. Do we have the accurate figure? We need to look into all this. The fact remains that whatever that is not giving people immediate gains. For example, if you give birth to a baby today and you go to register and give birth to a baby, what will cross your mind as a Nigerian is that what am I standing to gain? So, and that is why one would need to blame National Orientation Agency. I don't think we even have that agency anymore. And if it does exist, then much needs to be done. People need to understand the need for us to have accurate data for development. But let me tell you, it's a matter of priority. It is because we don't give priority to it. When we give priority to elections, you are talking about the electoral act that was amended now. We are talking about the rate at which the INEC will produce a permanent voters card. But why not permanent national ID card, for that matter? That means the election is the priority of politicians and the government and the government. So the census of a thing is not our priority. Well, we need to do more. Then in the area of reorientation, we need to reorientate our people to ensure that our mentality changes for good. We don't have good mentality. Let me tell you this: if whether we like it or not, even among the Yorubas, let's use Yoruba as an instance. You will see the people who will say this one is Ijebu, this one is Egba. Even within the same Ogun state, you see the same will say this one is Bolo, this one is Ijesa. Within the same Osun state. So if we start from that, what do you think will happen when it comes to larger Nigeria? So we need reorientation in order to change our mentality.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Latif. We have to go to the next topic because of our time. Because that topic is alone is capable of consuming the whole 1 hour. Yeah. We will go to the next topic. First subsidy scam. Reps probe over 200 account domicile with CBN. My question will go first to Latif Agbola this time. though he's the one that spoke last, but I want to start from him. Nigeria has a lot of problem with record keeping. In actual fact, there are actually no records. Let me use that word. Because of the fact that if you ask for this, no record. Ask for this, no record. As a population, no record. Even election that we hold, the only thing that makes us to have record is when we are aggrieved. When somebody wins, he doesn't care about the record. Just win, he wins and he wins. Now, Nigeria has about 200 account domiciled with the CBN for fuel subsidy. And the federal government, the present government promised Nigerians that it will not
Pay subsidy
to
anybody.
But they have not told us. All that we hear now is that they are still paying subsidy. Let's look at that area. Who is deceiving who? And we are at the receiving end of the whole thing. The Nigerian masses are at the receiving end.
You see, today we are in a hot soup when we like to see the reality. The number one thing I want us to look into is the factor I mentioned another time. Nigerians generally, whether as the leader or as the led, we are not sincere when it comes to nationalism, when it comes to patriotism. You will ask a particular question: whose purpose, whose interest is Emefiele, because Emefiele as the CBN governor, serving? Whose interest?
The people or the government?
Or a particular set of people. By devaluing nairas on daily basis. By not finding, I wouldn't know. So what I'm trying to pass across here is that I believe Nigeria belongs to a clique, not to Nigerians. Not until Nigeria becomes the property of all Nigerians. Maybe that's when we get it right. You can't but talk about corruption. Corruption to many of Nigerians today has become something normal. Corruption is no more abnormal. You will see people who will even celebrate you and warn you, this is your time. As you quote here, Neo, when you are promoted or when you are elected or when you are appointed to a particular public office, what your people will tell you is this is your time. And the question is,
and you must make it.
The question your time to do what? To steal. To steal. And if you look back, many people have been arrested, many people have been prosecuted. What's the outcome? Look at the Daliye issues now. So what from 1,000 to 0, we move forward one step and move backward 99 step. So I wouldn't know, not until we get our priority right, and that's the priority is that Nigeria must be the first thing in the mind of an average Nigerian. That's the moment we will get it right. All this, they understand one another. That if someone that is talking about the domiciliary account or whatever in the CBN, that means someone somewhere has been affected negatively. Maybe someone has stepped on someone's toe. That's why he or she is being exposed now. They knew about this. For God's sake, there has been problem between the federal government and the university community about this TSA of a thing. It's part of the problem between the ASU and the federal government. TSA, they believe that treasury single account.
It's like IPPIS.
Yes, IPPIS. So thank you. We address the problem of corruption in the economic sector. Now, what will address this one? Whereby they have numerous accounts with the CBN. So the reality is that if anybody is telling you that they are fighting corruption, they are deceiving themselves, not me as a Nigerian. What I understand is the day one, even since day one, EFCC was created and inaugurated by Chief Obasanjo. EFCC has been using us as an instrument of persecution. If you are their political enemy, they use it to threaten you, they use it to blackmail you, and that is all. So not until we become Nigerians by our whole heart, not by mere name that I'm in Nigeria, no, or by being patriotic, we may not get it right.
Thank you, Latif. Popola,
Yes.
you see, Nigerians have become so tired of first crisis all the time. The same reason has always been the cause. Subsidy every time. The time around subsidy, when it happened some years back, it's subsidy and been subsidies since that time. But the problem now is subsidy has about 200 accounts with the CBN from which they pay subsidy. And Nigeria's currency has taken a serious nosedive in the recent past. Where do we get it wrong? Where did we get it wrong?
Look, if I get you right, what you are saying is that we have some accounts at the CBA where subsidies are paid without those who own that account, responsible for, importation.
No, the possession that those accounts are possessed in quotes by the NNPC or the federal government.
That is what we are saying. Subsidies are paid to those people who import refined oil into Nigeria.
Refined petrol
Into Nigeria. The subsidies being paid, the purpose is to ameliorate the skyrocketing prices of which the fuel should have been offered to the public to quench the soaring prices.
Let me explain this way, or let me approach it this way. When we say our currency is nosediving in the world market,
it's being devalued.
Or it's being devalued as it were. People say because we are not a producing country.
We are a
consuming country.
Yes.
But what are we that we are trying to prove that we are a producing country? What are we producing? That is oil. Petrol is the only thing being produced in this country. It's like you get your yam ready and you want to pound it. After cooking the yam, you take it from here to burger. After pounding it, they bring it back to you. What is your
look? Let me tell you this. In those days, when we had our nairas, our currency at par with those of the developed economies in the world, now you can ask, what are those things? In what way was the country, economic sector being managed? How did the economy of the country, was managed in those years? And what are those things, the products within the economic sectors then? In 1984, thereabouts, or 83, that was when we had steel rolling. The steel being produced by steel rolling mill. We had the Manson tools. We had another one in Ajaokuta. We had a cement manufacturing company in Nigeria. I think the limestone was explored from Onkalagu. We have all those.
And
we had all those products in Nigeria that Nigeria produced there, and we sell outside the world to other countries. Now at that time we cannot but have a strong economy. Now what do we have? What do we export to other countries? We don't. Virtually all the companies, all the industries, of the 1980s had gone into comatose or completely moribund. Now, the economy, I mean the economic system is this. If we have what we call a central market in the world. Now, you export your commodities to that market, or you export your commodity to a country, that needs that product. Now, the international currency for today are dollars and pounds. That is what the world understands. That is the currency with which the world trades. Now, it is amount of goods that you export that will bring in dollars or pounds for you. But in a situation where you don't export, you cannot have dollars and pounds in the central bank. Now, if you need to trade at the international market, it means that you will either borrow pounds or you devalue your naira, so that the amount, it means you are now trading in money, not in commodities. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you don't have anything to sell outside, you will be trading in money. You will use money to buy money. It means that, and from those people from where you will buy money, they can now say that, okay, we can only exchange £1 for you at let's say $200. I mean 200 naira. Are you getting what I'm saying? That is the problem we are facing now. The moment you don't have anything to offer for the outside world,
you will be using money to buy money.
Okay. You will be trading in money, and there is no way a country could live in isolation. You will have to depend on other countries for the goods that you don't produce. And there is it is so certain that what we don't produce here, we have to get it somewhere.
Yeah, that's correct.
And we need amount of we need a certain sum that will be equivalent for the importation of that commodity. That is it.
I'm waiting. In 1975, when General Murtala Mohammed took power, during the Gowon era, there was a slight devaluation of the naira, slight. But immediately Murtala came in, the naira appreciated again. This is because of the policies of the government then. The government then said, look, that was the time when new production companies were springing up here and there. The Nkalagu that we said and we could respect.
Yes.
And even the Okwibuku newsprint company, among others, were springing up here and there. But now we have none of them. Where did we get it from?
Yeah, even though we have been digressing, but I will call it useful digression.
It's parenthetical digression.
No doubt about that, because what we are discussing has to do with the fact that about 6.7 trillion naira has been spent on first subsidy for just 6 months.
6 months.
And that is an humongous amount that could even wreak havoc on
the economy.
And we have to understand the politics behind this first subsidy. Let me just talk about that. We have to understand it. It's a particular regime that is shrouded in mystery. because we learned that a lot of importers who do not import anything are even benefiting
From
making false claims, and the whole system is shrouded in mystery, and that's why one should commend the efforts of the House of Representatives wanting to probe the regime of first subsidy, because NNPC, which has recently been privatized, has 200 accounts domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria. So, but let me just tell you that the reason we have found it difficult to be a producing nation rather than a consuming nation is because of the policies somersault that we had continued to experience in Nigeria. Take a look at the monetary policy of the current administration. It has not yielded anything positive.
Despite the fact that we have...
It's unfortunate, and Emefiele has retained his job. Even when he showed interest in contesting the presidency, he rescinded his decision. At some point, he was ready to go to court to enforce his quote and unquote fundamental human rights.
Yes.
But now, I don't know what qualifies Emefiele to retain his job when
when there is gross violation of the constitution regarding the office
the agency you oversees, you oversee, is not doing fine, and the monetary policy of Nigeria is anti-people. Exactly. It's anti-people. It's only those who have access to dollars, those who travel and get ESTA codes, that will benefit.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything that this administration, just like every other administration, successive administrations in the country, what they ought to have done first is to ensure that there is adequate security of lives and property. That's one thing. Secondly, every effort must be more steered to ensure that we produce. Even the daily needs
our own basic daily needs
are no longer being produced in Nigeria. So you can imagine. So definitely, how do we can't have comparative advantage when it comes to international trade. So the problem with us is that a lot of people are saying it is being rumored every now and then, but in every rumor there should be elements of truth. Now it's been said that because some people have gone into the business of importing generating sets. That's why all efforts being taken to ensure that
we have electricity.
It's been true.
That is an open secret.
No, so if that is the case, so what has the government done? What have these successive administrations done in Nigeria to address that? Nothing is being done to address it. We all know that every economy now is electricity based. So if people have access to electricity, stable electricity, then the production sector will be life. The manufacturing sector will come to life.
Yes.
And people, the youth will have enough as far as employment opportunities are concerned. They will be gainfully employed, and they will also contribute towards the economic development of the nation.
Thank you very much.
I think the federal government will need to address all those. Those are basic. They are fundamentals. And if you don't address them, even if you go into census and what have you, if we are not a producing nation, if we are a consuming nation, no. We will only, just as Latif said, we will take a step forward
and 29 steps backward.
Something
before I go to the next topic, I don't popular one.
You see, you asked the other time that in 1975 that there was devaluation of naira. You will recall that before 1974, Nigeria's currency then was pounds, and it seems as if the policy of a British government is what we adopt in Nigeria as far as our economy and world trade is concerned. It was in 1974 that Naira took full swing as our currency. Now, and that was the time that Nigeria now started standing on its feet as far as the production of goods and services is concerned, based on Nigerian economic policy.
Nigerian economic policy and name.
And name. Now, the Naira should be devalued then when you see the rate at which industries were springing up. It was then that Naira, we started using Naira at the international market. Now, Naira must take shape. Naira at that time should be, as at that time, we don't use Naira to pay all these experts.
We are using pounds and dollars.
We are using pounds and dollars. So if Naira should compete favorably with pounds, it must first of all be devalued. When you compare the amount of pounds that the country needed then to fund the new the industries and companies that were springing up.
Okay.
So that was the reason.
Thank you very much. We go to the last topic of the program, and this one is highly political. And I want to say that this is about the first time we are having this kind of topic. We will shock election riggers, Abia youth. Abia youth coming up to say there will be no room for rigging. Come to think of it, the government has come up with the new Electoral Act to ensure that they want to stop what the Yoruba people will call wuru to the answer in our elections. And the youth of Abia State are saying, yes, we want to come up and make sure that election riggers have no reason to rear their head at all. Maiden, how will you react to this?
Yes, I will commend the pronouncement at that level. I want to say kudos to the Abia youth who are really spoiling for war as far as election rigging is concerned. But you rightly said it that the Electoral Act is really living up to the billing.
Yes.
Even though no system is foolproof.
Yes.
No system. Even American system has a lot of loopholes that people explore or exploit. And you could see what happened even when Donald Trump wanted to come back to office. What happened then is now history. It's part of history.
And the lesson.
Yes, people will always make reference to that. But by and large, let me just take on the Abia youth. The Abia youth, even in the history of election rigging all over the world, who are those that are the ready-made tools for election rigging? Are they not the youth? But whose future is being bastardized? It is being compromised.
Yes. Or being mortgaged.
Being mortgaged when there is rigging. We are talking about the youth. What they are saying is that currently their own future. What they are saying is that their own future had already been mortgaged, but they are now ready to fight for the future of their children. So kudos for what they are saying. But let me say one thing. Let me say one thing here. We all know that the politicians in the past have been playing on their intelligence, playing on their emotion, and it's because of the eroded value system. If all of us uphold integrity, honesty, truthfulness, and what have you, sincerity, we will all be beneficiaries.
Yes.
They are the tools. At the same time, they are the beneficiaries. They have been benefiting from the ills of the past system. And now if they are coming up then all of us must be on the same page. Being on the same page, people should not be asking for stomach infrastructure. So if you are asking for stomach infrastructure
you will not be able to,
and you want to checkmate
bad governance,
even election rigging,
it's like eating your cake.
Exactly. So let us all expect government to embark on policies and programs that will benefit the majority. Then we'll be talking about having good road network.
Among others.
Yes. Among others.
Yes.
So instead of saying, then there is a problem.
Lateef Agbola, I saw you smiling when I was reading this thing. Politicians in Nigeria are capable of anything. Their plan to rig start from plan A to infinity. And you know that.
It doesn't even end on plan B.
No.
That will be plan C.
It's
so that's what I'm quoting you.
Yes. It is ongoing. It is like that. Youth all have only one target: stopping rigging. And rigging can come in any form. Even with the Electoral Act, rigging can come in any form. Do you think the youth of Abia State are capable of carrying out this?
You see, I was smiling for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
One, what you mentioned, that riggings are so many forms.
Yeah.
Then the second one is when you are talking about Abia youth. Are you talking about Abia APC youth? Abia PDP youth?
No, they say they cut across
parties. Across parties.
If they cut across parties, then who are they fighting for them? You see, it's as if we are not, you don't know what we are doing. If you heard the voice of a youth group anywhere in Nigeria, there must have been some godfathers behind it for a particular purpose.
Many they cannot reason on their own.
They can even reason, but they are reasoning as level. When money comes in, the reasoning ends. Let's start from the so-called student unionism. If you give them just like 2-3 million naira, you see the true color of the Nigerian youth. Now, coming to this idea of a thing, you'll be surprised. We've had what we call civil society organizations, the real ones, when the military were here. We have the Ganifa Wemins, the Agbakobas, the Amitolus, and the rest. Then fighting tooth and nail to ensure that democracy was restored. But today, if someone comes out and tell you we are civil society organization, ask them which of the organization is it of the government or of the opposition? All these youth, somebody somewhere is sponsoring them. I don't know the person, but I know that somebody must have been sponsoring those youth. You see, one thing is sacrosanct when we are talking about election. That is primary. You didn't come out during the primary. All this, the best of the wars now emerged, and you are talking about you want to stop rigging. The real rigging had already been perpetrated. We will have a situation where we will not allow rigging when you show interest in who becomes a candidate of a political party. Let them come out and insist. We have a youth as governorship candidate in the election, July 16. I don't think the youth among them have up to 10 votes. I didn't even know whether those youth voted for themselves. So, excuse me. Those are the things we need to look into. When it's a very good thing that these people came out, but if you ask them, are you going to stop the rigging?
They have no plan, strategy.
And they only came out to do the job they are paid for. I'm very sorry to.
They came out to do the job for which they are expecting to be paid.
Now, coming to this of stopping rigging, when you say you want to stop rigging, are they not the beneficiaries of the vote buying? The are they not the one who collect money from politicians and vote for them? Is vote buying not a part of rigging? If you want to stop rigging, then you need to be contented. You need to change your mentality that everything is not about money.
Yeah.
Even if they give you money, you may take it and follow your heart. But how many of them do that? And politicians don't even give you money without following you up. So all this need to be.
Latif, they even made the vow. The coalition of different youth groups made the declaration in Umma here, the state capital, when they visited the immediate past general manager of Abia State Environmental Protection Agency, ASEPA, Honorable Okechukwu.
Look at
Can you imagine?
Look at
Who
what
may
be an aspirant.
No, he might even be the one sponsoring
look
them.
at what I'm talking about here now. As if I know. Honestly, I've not read the story, but I've been part of this system for so long, and I know what it's honestly,
it's very interesting.
Honestly,
it's interesting.
You see, I will disagree with what Latif is saying, that unless the youth is under a political godfather, that they can mobilize or can be mobilized. No, I didn't say that. I say wherever you see them, there must have been a godfather. It's either political or not political. Don't put political. I'm coming. I mentioned the word godfather, not political. I mean, you said unless there must be a godfather. That's the word. Okay, not political. I don't see
godfather may not be a politician.
Could be anything, anybody.
I'm coming. I don't see them that way. If you see the way the NSAS campaign was coordinated in Nigeria, one will not listen, along with you. You see,
was it always coordinated?
Don't let talk about.
I'm coming.
You are bringing another.
Let me go there.
Don't go there.
The youth in Nigeria. The youth in Nigeria.
Who
That
coordinated
was the
it?
first time the youth in Nigeria were connected.
Came out
With one voice.
There
was no commander anywhere.
There was no commander.
Today, they came out to kill security agent, to burn him, to hit him, to hit from his meat.
Excuse me. They came out to speak.
Let us go there.
Don't let's go there.
Let us go there.
Excuse me.
They came out. They spoke with one voice that this is what we don't want.
Even many of them didn't even know what they were doing.
If they had mobilized,
they only joined.
I'm coming. If they had mobilized that time to say that let there be an end to bad governance. Are you saying that they should not have succeeded? They should have succeeded, but it is that area that the youth were aggrieved that they addressed them. So what I'm saying is
you want to end bad governance. You went to Obas of Lagos Palace, looted it, and that's how to end bad governance.
No, that was.
You use police armory.
You uprooted signposts.
That's how to end. You stole machine, stole people's property. Looting.
People who are coming on from the front.
Okay.
That was not coordinated.
As far
Are you talking about coordinated?
if you have those people whose offices and their house were looted, were touched, they will tell you their involvement in different issues on which the youth capitalize their campaign. That is the way I look at it.
When the Igbo youth now visited Oba of Lagos and looted the palace, then you call that an agitation.
Today, we are talking about unknown gunmen in the southeast today. So are they old people killing their own people?
Look.
Yes, let us. This is about the confidence.
It depends on
to end the program
on the way you listen.
This is about the confidence spot to end the program today in the newsroom. I want to thank all my guests who have come from wherever to be part of this program. We thank you. Adebayo Popola, I say thank you too.
We never came from. We are all from.
These are home now.
So don't
all from Oshun.
Exactly.
Yes, I want to thank you all for coming on the program. We did Adeleke.
Thank you.
Adebayo Popola and Latif Agbola.
It's my pleasure being here today.
Yes, it has been a very, very interesting time in the newsroom.
Yeah, it's been stormy.
By the grace of God, we shall be here again next week. For another edition of the program, though it is a daily thing and we will have it on daily basis. But back today, on behalf of the producer, Nada Yola and the executive producer, Akiola Wolabi, I say bye for now.